Minister Ryan, look, I know you're a decent man, and you're Shanna her honey show Tipperdown, the Calavansery, used to be a pub. You great roots in the country, and I say to you, it's nothing personal, it's just fundamentally opposed to what's happening in this bill. This rushed piece of legislation that had very little scrutiny, pre-late scrutiny, and that had you know, kind of a bad feverish one day last year in the Dáil, towards the evening, I think many of us were gone home, when the Dáil decided that we should have this climate, and all parties, and none, signed up to it. They were trying to beat each other. Who would be the strongest, and who would be just the click, and this is the social media, this is the media driven as well. And nobody is standing back to question it. Nobody. And I want to thank the hard-working staff in my office, Maria and indeed Brian O'Donnell, for choose working the amendments. And it's very disappointing when Deputy Cal Nolan and indeed Deputy Michael Collins and Deputy Michael Hilly-Ray attended committee last week. We were berated for not attending, but can I also say that, and I don't want to blame the Secretariat, but we weren't even notified of the committee. We had a call from a journalist, Brian O'Donnell, to know why we weren't there. We weren't even notified of it. So there's some clandestine, kind of a secret incremental issue going on here. Shut those lads up, get it off, get it passed. Don't accept any of their amendments, just leave it off. We have to do this, and to hell with the consequence, because this stems, and I'm speaking to the amendment, last Cloncola, the 1 to 3, just transition, because it's not a just transition. It's the most unjust imposition. That's what it is. And the call of those words is really stretching the credibility of the bill and people who come up with these words and names and acronyms. It's not fair. It's not right. It's unfair to the English language. And today we're celebrating one of our famous artists and poets and author here in Dublin. You're using language. It's an unjust transition. It's an unjust imposition. Tell that to the people like Deputy Nolan represents in Offaly, the Bogs. Can I also say to you, Minister, like AirGrid, the transmission systems operators, announced that amber alerts on electricity security supply for National Grid on the 11th of September 2020, 6th of January and 27th of May 2021. And we trust them with managing the power. When I was in Communication Committee with your good self, back in 2007 or 8 or 9, we went out to AirGrid and we saw the fascinating project. I was hugely amazed by it, just the sheer scale of it. But you know what I mean, the amber alerts should be a wake-up call for you who's trying to stop the power plants. And we have them, they're only 3. There was another one back in October or November, a brown alert. Then we have power cuts. I've got about 10 phone calls in recent weeks. One last Sunday week, power outage in the town of Care. No explanation, no answers, nothing on the website about it. But equipment, highly expensive equipment, catering equipment, huge damage because of the outage with no warning. That can happen. There can be an accident. The swans often hit the lines and things like that have happened in my own village. But this is something more serious. And when are we going to take the wool from our eyes and open up and see? And I have a message for Fianna Fáil backbenchers and Fine Gael backbenchers and government, independent TDs back in the government. If you're going to vote this through, and try and go back and tell the people in Tipperary then and all over the country that, oh, you didn't realise it and this was, you had to because the programme for government, all this won't wash when people will be in the dark. When people are going around with candles and flashlights again, like the people they buy to find what they have in their kitchen or their houses. You can't get generators. We can't get, the timber can't be sourced for houses. You have an SEAI organisation doing that, and we had a Tipperary Energy Agency thing I was proud of in Tipperary. Now it's subsumed in some other big conglomerate, gone away from local control. And people are waiting now 2.5 years if they apply for a grant to do insulation. And one of our own amendments was suggesting no, reduce the VAT on insulation. But no, all the policies that you have passed here, the carbon tax, has driven the price of insulation, because it's oil-based, upwards. It has driven timber up by 100%, steel up by 60%. So the cost of housing people has really gone through the roof. So I also want to ask you, the farmers have been mentioned here, and farming organisations, and been blamed and trying to be demonised as being. I like Deputy Cairns, and I heard what she said, and I was pleased with what she said, that no farmer gets up to do any damage to the environment. They're custodians of the environment. They're eke the living out of my own ancestors as well, and yours, in that humble farm in the Calavansery in Tipperary. And if you look close enough to your shoes, you'll still have the clay on them. You're that bit removed from Tipperary, but please, feel the clay. Get down to the passion of the earth. Remember the famine. And we're going to create another famine of food shortages and no light. We're going to be in some kind of a prehistoric manhood and womanhood in our country again if this nonsense goes on. Minister, renewable heat fuel obligation scheme and RHOs allow industry to advance competitive decarbonisation solutions for heat sector, supporting indigenous sources without burdening exchequer funding sources. You never looked at this. In France, we've seen biomethane will be most competitive solution, allowing manufacturing and export industries to address their main issues, while also providing new income for farmers, turning the currently perceived emissions and water issues into waste issues, into an opportunity. Why don't we do that? Why is the rush here? The indecent haste. Any legislation that's rushed there's going to be flaws in it. This is a deeply flawed piece of legislation. Why don't you discuss with the farming organisation? Now, there are many organisations that have come to me and my group, the Rural Independents, some very late in the day. The IFA came here today and they were very late, a year late probably, and I don't know, have they bought into this? And will they realise? But they'll realise when they have no power for their milk machines. They'll have no power. How are they going to have tractors and everything else? But look, and they actually criticised us for being scaremongering about the national herd. This comes from Professor John Fitzgerald and many other independent people. We can't get to what we want to get 2030 without culling the herd. And we saw the two elderly animals here today with the IFA and all the farmers out there. Let them live. I'd appeal to you, Minister, take this bill, take the guillotine off, give us time to debate and discuss it. Engage with the people, because you're driving the people that are interested in climate change and just transition away from you. A spoon of honey is better than a bucket of vinegar. And I'd ask you, please, get the honey out and try and bring the people with you. Because forcing them the other way, I'm surprised. It's a tyrannical 15 months we put down with COVID. And this is a further tyranny. I believe, actually, this climate change bill is the new red. The green is the new red now. It's a form of communism. It's going to control people in their homes, in their houses, in their work, and everything else. Make them back little people, back to where they were in prehistoric times. It's shameful, it's downright stupid, and it's not necessary. Thank you.